This week, we thought we'd pull some old footage out of the archives and take you on one of our early adventures on a wintry trip to the Boundary Waters in northern Minnesota. We woke up in Duluth, Minnesota on the shores of Lake Superior and headed out for our day's adventure. As we searched for a place to camp for the night, we had no idea what was in store for us. Let's join Gary by the campfire as he tells us the stories of the day.
So here we are. We've got our camp set up. There's the Jeep. There's dinner. We've got we put the water in the stroganoff with wild mushrooms and noodles first. We waited the 15 minutes. Still a little crunchy. And then it was a little lukewarm by the time we waited the 15 minutes, even though we brought the water in the jet boil to a rolling boil.
I think we needed a little more water for this one, because I don't think it
Well, it's
fully
pretty
covered.
liquidy.
It is. But I
So
don't think it
here's
fully
the
covered
rice
the top.
one. The rice one's still pretty warm, but I think what's happening is that the rice is soaking up the water and keeping it hotter. So this one's almost done, so we'll get to try it. But Gary's trying it. Gary over there is trying an experiment. He's boiling water in the jet boil, and then he's gonna shove the bag in it so the hot water's around it.
Which right now is not looking like it's going to be an easy task.
No. Plus, he filled it to the fill line when I told him to only go halfway. But we're gonna let him do this experiment.
We're going to get
Hoping, okay, so the theory is that the hot water will warm the bag and then warm the liquid contents inside. So it's gonna be even longer before we get to eat the wild mushroom stroganoff with noodles. Now, even though it was a little crunchy when I tried it, the flavors were really good. So I'm really excited. I'm actually really excited for this one with the rice because I love like wild rice soup and all that kind of stuff. And this looks like it's gonna be pretty close to that. Pretty excited.
If this had risotto, it would be your dream meal.
Pretty much.
You'd pretty much be mushrooms, risotto, and stroganoff. You'd be there.
I would be there.
You might need some macaroni eventually.
Yeah.
But
Okay, I think we're boiling. I'm hearing it. The yellow's all the way up. Okay, so we're gonna turn this off and disconnect it from the burner.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, disconnect it from the burner. Squeeze and turn. Okay, now we're gonna knot over the table so the table doesn't get all wet.
Do we have...
There you go. Now wash your hands if it overflows.
It's not that... I mean, the water's pretty low.
I know, but you're putting a big ass bag in a little jet boil. Okay,
I
go for
can't
it.
even see the fill line anymore.
Okay, shove it in there.
Yeah, sure. It's my hand that's going to get scolded.
Well, this was your idea, so.
Okay. Hold on. I got this.
Whoa!
That's some warm water.
Okay, so let's leave it like that
Yeah.
on the table now that you've overflown it.
Let's. Oh, We
You want
need
to put
to-
it inside the
Yeah,
bowl.
yeah.
Well, I think the
Grab
bowl
the
might
bowl.
be too small.
No,
Okay, there we
that's
go. Okay, so we're gonna let that one sit for a little while and see how it goes.
This is totally gonna work.
Okay.
You're laughing at me because I spilled it all over myself. For boiling hot water in, what are we? We got to be
20 degrees.
Yeah,
Well, it was 29 earlier. Yeah, probably 20.
yeah, maybe high teens. Yeah.
It doesn't feel that hot.
No, I'm fine.
It feels hotter when you're shaving with it.
If it starts, yeah, yeah. If my fingers start popping up in blisters, then we know I've had too much to drink. By the way, this was really good.
Mine was too.
So, I don't think I ever would have.
Tried it?
Yeah, the cucumbers was throwing me off, and
Yeah.
it definitely, like when you crack this open.
Well, what is it first?
First of all, it's called Fling Craft Cocktail, Gin and Tonic, with cucumber and lime.
Okay.
So when you crack this sucker open, man, I mean, the lime was like in your face.
Yeah.
First taste, though, you really get the cucumber,
Yeah.
which was very refreshing. I mean, it was kind of like cucumber water, right?
Okay.
But with gin and tonic and the lime, it was actually really good. I'd buy it again.
Yeah. So here's mine.
I would.
I got blood orange vodka soda. And mine tastes like a blood orange seltzer, which I really like seltzer, so that worked out well for me. And then here's our beautiful fire in the snow. And this is our wilderness cooler,
Camp cooler.
camp cooler. We're coining it. So when you don't bring the refrigerator or the powered cooler with you overlanding, I guess just make sure you're not in the desert, otherwise it won't work. Find a bank of snow and stick your drinks in it, and you'll have a camp cooler.
That's it.
So I'll take another one.
This one?
No, I'm not having that one. I'm not a gin drinker. Yeah, I'll have one of those. There we go.
All right.
Okay.
Closer, so when it gets dark, I don't have to fumble.
There you go. Okay, come back over here. Don't burn yourself. Okay, so we had an adventurous day today.
Yeah, we did.
So we were driving on the Gunflint Trail, and we pulled off on Creekside Trail or Creek something trail.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of that one.
Yeah, we'll look it up. And then we saw a sign for a campground. So we thought, okay, we're gonna go towards that.
We were like, jackpot.
Well, the snow on the road was a little bit higher, so like a foot higher than the road we were driving on, which was obviously plowed and groomed and everything. But we were in Ruby, and we knew she could handle it, so off we went to go find the campground. Because there are literally no BLM sites anywhere up here.
No, which is really bizarre because the Boundary Waters, which is where we are, we're at the very, to give you a perspective, we came out of the Twin Cities. We drove 2.5 hours northeast up Highway 35 and ended up in Duluth last night, and then went up what they call the Arrowhead. So the Upper Peninsula, the point of Lake Superior, kind of culminates where Duluth is, and then you follow the northern, it'd be the northwest edge of Superior, pretty much all the way up to the Canadian border. We're about, I would say, 30 miles from the Canadian border.
Mm-hmm. So we're south of Grand Portage. We turned at Grand Marnier.
Not Murray.
Well, we've renamed it.
Yeah.
We've decided that the town is now not named Grand Marais. It is
That's right.
named Grand Marnier because it just sounds yummier.
Anyway, so we hit Grand Marnier and we drove north up the Gunflint Trail, which is old Highway 12, if I remember correctly.
Yep, I think you're right.
How long do you think we went? Like 20 miles, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Because we were going to go all the way to the end.
Yeah.
and then turn around and see what we found. But every road that was marked as like an off-road road was literally like under 6 feet of snow
Yeah. So
and not
turn
passable.
the camera over there. That's exactly what we encountered on just about every road that should have been open.
Yeah, just a big pile of snow.
Or I shouldn't say should have been open, is open 9 months out of the year when it's not buried in snow.
Yep.
Or 6 months out of the year when it's not buried in snow. So anyway, we turned down this road. We were intrigued. We were looking for some remote camping. Saw that there was a campground. It was a state campground.
Which isn't our first choice normally.
No, normally we'd want to be out in the wilderness, create our own kind of campground or a BLM type site campground. Yeah, that water did kind of sting a little bit. It's not blistering, but yeah, I can feel it.
Okay, lesson learned. Don't fill it to the fill line. Don't shove the whole thing in there.
Right.
Okay.
Learned.
Many lessons today.
Yes. So anyway, back to the damn story that's taking forever. We ended up driving down this road, which was really packed snow and ice. We made it about...
Three-quarters of the way to the campground?
Yeah, I think it was about 3/4 of the way.
It's a mile and a half or so.
The road that turned down to the campground was, during the winters, turned into basically a double-track snowmobile trail. So in the center of the trail, it was pretty hard packed. On the edges, you sunk down 2 to 3 feet.
To your knee.
Yeah, instantly to your knee, right? Anyway, we went down this trail. 3/4 of the way down the trail, we come across a guy who's like straddling the trail with his, I think it was like a RAV4 or something like that. I don't know.
It was like a Mazda station wagon.
Oh, that's right. It was a Mazda.
Yeah.
That's right. It was.
Well, a RAV4 is a Mazda, so you're pretty close. But
No, the RAV4 is a Toyota.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Anyway,
Sorry.
it was a Mazda. So this guy's in there. I mean, it was
Two-wheel
front-wheel
drive.
drive, so it wasn't as bad as a rear-wheel drive
But
vehicle.
not even all-wheel drive.
But it wasn't all-wheel drive. It wasn't four-wheel drive. And I mean, there's a lot of snow around us.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like, we got a dusting.
He must have like tried to turn around and then got stuck in the sides.
I don't
the
know.
edges.
The interesting part is where he got stuck. So it was hard packed, and the trail went down and around to the left.
Yeah.
And then it went kind of up and to the right as well. And where he was stuck was like right in the middle of that Y, which
where
no one was
drives,
driving
yeah.
anyways. So that was kind of a moron move to begin with. But anyway, he got the thing pretty stuck. He was smart enough to not sit there and, spin himself down to the frame. So fortunately he had a really light duty tow strap. I really didn't want to dig through the back of the Jeep to grab my big tow strap. Anyway, so he hooked it up to the front of Ruby, popped it in 4 low, in reverse, boom, first tug, yanked him out. All was good. He was a happy camper.
Yep. So I ran up the trail to see if we could or the road that went up to the campground, to see if we were even gonna get there. Well, I'm glad I did, because there was a gate and the hard pack narrowed, and there was just enough room to get through the gate for a snowmobile. And then when you went past that, it was snowmobile and cross country skiing only. And so when I came back down the hill, there's a new person in the mix. And apparently...
Yeah, so shortly after Suzanne went running up the hill to go scout out the campground, this young lady comes running up the trail.
Yeah, shout
from
out
the left.
to Samantha and Leo, her puppy.
Was that Samantha?
Yeah, Samantha
Nice.
and Leo.
She was super nice. She was very much in distress. She was, like I said, the trail kind of wide. She had made it down the left part of the Y.
Like a football
Probably
field, 100 yards?
No, it was more than that. It was
Okay.
probably about a mile or so down.
Yeah.
Not super far, but she made it. The road went down, and then there was a gully where a lake came through.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and she got stuck right where that lake would have came through. She was buried
To the top of her tires.
all the way down, top of her tires, frame was high centered on the snow. It took me probably,
And she was in a Jeep Cherokee all-wheel drive.
yeah, with road tires,
Yeah.
not even all-terrain tires, like straight street tires. Very little tread. She had just bought it about 4 months ago. Super cool chick though, man. I mean, honestly, back when I was her age,
We wouldn't have done that.
I
wouldn't have done that.
to try and find a girl that was into that sort of thing, and I went to school in Lake Tahoe. I was surrounded by a bunch of women that were very adventurous, but to find her by herself with her little puppy up here in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
in the Boundary Waters, that was pretty cool. I'm like, damn. That's pretty cool.
She had a snow shovel. She had like a walking or cross country pole that had like
Grips
on it. So
Yeah.
she was using that to scrape it out. She had kitty litter with her that she'd put behind the tires to try and get grip.
Unfortunately,
She'd tried so much stuff.
she just wasn't the vehicle wasn't set up to drive in what she was trying to drive. That and most people, her and the guy, I can't remember the guy's name for the life of me, but both of them, their tires were street tires. They were fully aired up. I mean, they were bound and determined to get stuck.
Yep.
We pulled them both out.
Well, Samantha was a little bit tougher because she was so far in there. We had to air down her tires, but we didn't do that at first. We did not have a way to attach our tow rope to her hitch because she didn't have a hitch ball,
Yeah.
a receiver.
We were equally as unprepared as they were.
Yeah.
Okay. We brought no recovery equipment other than the tow strap. Thank God I had that in the back of the Jeep. But no winch, no traction boards, nothing.
Yep. Luckily,
No shovel.
Yeah. Luckily, a snowmobile guy came along, and he was staying at a cabin nearby, and he had a ball on a receiver that fit in her hitch. So he
Which
went and
was
got
awesome.
that. While he did that, we aired her tires down to give her more traction.
So yeah, I had a great tow strap, but she had no anchor points or any tow points on the Cherokee, which I thought was really bizarre, to be honest. But it wasn't a full. I don't even know that it was a full-blown Cherokee. I thought it was. I don't know.
It wasn't a Grand Cherokee. It was just a Cherokee.
Yeah. Well, it was. Yeah,
It
it
was
was
smaller.
not set up for what she was doing. There were no tow points, so she had a receiver hitch, but didn't have the ball or anything, and the two links on the side of the receiver hitch were so small I couldn't get the tow strap through it. We didn't have a D-link or a shackle or anything with us, so I mean it was pretty bad. We got to the point where I'm like, she had no axle. It was independent suspension, right? So I didn't want to hook up to anything underneath her vehicle, rip the suspension off.
Yeah. No, we were about to load her and her dog in the Jeep and go to the lodge that was just down the street, but then the snowmobile guy came.
Yeah, fortunately the snowmobile guy showed up. He was like quarter mile down the trail the opposite way is where his truck was. He happened to have a receiver hitch and ball. He went, grabbed it, picked it up, put it on her back of her Jeep, and it took about 3 or 4 really big tugs
To get her out.
to try and get her out. I mean, she was super buried.
And then, to make the story even better, we're backing up the road from where we were at, and we were paying so much attention to her and making sure that she was going straight. What happened, Gary?
I ended up putting the passenger side back tire off the trail, sunk down into 2 feet of snow.
We were up to the, well, the Jeep's lifted, but we were up to the bottom of the Jeep on my side.
Yeah, it was.
The tires were buried.
It was sunk in, and we were about 6 inches away from a lovely birch tree from the front fender. So fortunately, and
She still had the hitch ball on her car.
this was the funniest part. So she was obviously in front of me because we were both backing out down the trail. And so I'm like, I just got stuck. We need to hook the tow strap up to your Jeep, and I need you to yank me out. She's like, well, I've never done that before. And I'm like, well, you're about to. So we hooked up the tow rope to my Jeep, to her Jeep. Unfortunately,
The snowmobile guy was still there to coach her.
when I dropped it into four low and locked the differentials, I was able to crawl out of there with the assistance of her pulling the tow rope.
So what did we learn?
Yeah, we learned that we're not going to do this again without recovery equipment. So
No.
we're gonna get loaded up.
So we're
with
gonna load up the kitty litter. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, the kitty litter, put some street tires on, and we're good.
No, so we love you, Samantha. You were awesome. That wasn't a dig at you. We were just as unprepared, but
Yeah, we were.
we're getting the track boards.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get some max tracks. And then I got to get a couple bumpers. Oh my god,
How is it?
amazing!
Yeah, don't eat it all. You have to switch it half. So Camp Chow.
It's really garlicky,
Oh, we like that though.
which yeah, I love. Tons of flavor, huge wild mushrooms. Yeah, this is amazing.
Oh, mine's pretty good too. Lots of flavor. Love the rice. Everything's super soft.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I'm telling you, if you've never tried these freeze-dried camp meals,
They're kind of scary at first.
they really are. And we were very nervous about it. Didn't know what brand to choose. And I mean, just the thought of, for me, that really tweaked me out was breakfast. Scrambled eggs. Like an egg scramble breakfast skillet in a bag that you just add water to.
Yeah, I think the rice dishes and burritos and stuff like that were a little bit easier.
That was easier to
yeah.
wrap your head around.
Yeah.
Right? But the eggs, I didn't get that. And so we've got chocolate cheesecake
For dessert.
that all you do is add water to. The jury's out on that one. But anyway, the eggs, we ended up trying, so for the first time we ever tried these things, we went with Mountain House,
Yeah.
which I really liked. We tried the chili mac, the breakfast skillet,
Risotto.
yeah, the risotto.
And the burrito bowl we had with our tortillas.
The burrito bowl was amazing. I really liked that one.
We put that inside of tortillas
Yeah.
and ate it as a burrito. Added some shredded cheese and
They're great. I mean, these are all local, like Suzanne said. There's someone up here on the North Shore that called campchow.net.
shout out.
These are amazing. They really are.
Oh, it's on that one.
Super sketchy because the bag's clear, so you're looking at it looks like potpourri.
This comes from the guy who you can't tell him what ingredients are in anything, otherwise he won't eat it.
That is true. But anyway, these are amazing, and they're so cheap too. $6 for this.
$10? Oh, that was that one 6?
Yeah, this one. Oh, sorry, this one was $8. And this would easily serve 2. Easily.
Yeah. The Mountain House ones we found were a little light for 2 people.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting, one night we cooked 2 different ones and then we just each ate half. But
I like that one better.
yeah, this one has more flavor for sure.
This one's more wild rice, which
Yeah.
is amazing.
But I like that though.
But you don't get the stroganoff that you do
Flavor,
without.
no, not so much. But with these, we easily could have split this in half. And we've got our camping bowls here. But because it's 19 degrees, the bowls are chilled
And metal.
and metal. So they're metal chilled bowls. So we figured that if we poured our food in there, our food was going to get cold right away. So we just decided to eat out of the bag, which is working just fine. But yeah, these are phenomenal. So Camp Chow, nice work.
Yeah. How do you even do that?
I don't know.
Freeze dry stuff.
We don't need to know.
Cryogenically frozen mushrooms.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So here we are. We got a beautiful fire with birch wood up here in the great north. It's actually kind of cool. Makes a really pretty fire with the white bark and everything. So we are gonna sign off, have our dinner.
For the rest of the evening, we hung out by the fire. Then as it got too cold, we climbed into the back of the Jeep. Yep, we were still Jeep sleeping back then. And played some cards before snuggling down. The next morning, we got up and explored more of the area before heading toward home. Hey guys, so we're back in Grand Marais. We haven't had any cell signal whatsoever, so I don't think we got a video this morning of our breakfast, but
You missed us eating.
I don't know, right?
Too bad for you.
The fun part was we saved our cheesecake for this morning, so we had chocolate cheesecake for breakfast. That was phenomenal. So definitely a thumbs up to the meals that we tried. Those all turned out really well. We drove the road we were on. We drove all the way up to the end. But pretty much what we found is every campground is snowed out. They don't plow the roads. They don't give you access to the campgrounds in the winter. So, if
Don't come camping in Minnesota in the winter.
No, not Minnesota, just up in the Boundary Waters, because it's like really far north and there's a lot of snow. But we did find the campground at Hungry Jack Lake. It was a private campground, and they kept 5 or 6 spots plowed, which was really nice. We did get lulled to sleep by the sound of snowmobilers going back and forth across the lake last night, and it was cold. So luckily I was warm because my love gives me the warm sleeping bag, or the cold weather sleeping bag, which keeps me warm. But even with that, I had 3 fleece blankets, and I cocooned them over my head to stay warm last night.
And a minus 20 bag.
Mm-hmm.
So I typically don't get cold. I run very hot. And last night, I froze my ass off. It dropped down. It had to have dropped down to about 15 degrees. Possibly colder, I don't know. Warmed up significantly today. I mean, we're almost at 40 degrees right now. So we stopped at this really cool local place called the Hungry Hippie Tacos, which is an amazing spot. If you find yourself in Grand Marais, definitely stop in at this place. Phenomenal food.
Yeah, it's really good. Great local place, great atmosphere. Yeah, love the food. So we did drive up to Grand Portage.
Yeah,
And
save yourself the drive.
Yeah, there's literally a casino and a gas station, and the roads are so bad between here and there. Like, literally, it's a kidney rocker. Our backs are hurting pretty bad, and I think Gary's arm's going to be sore from trying to keep the steering wheel straight. But, so, I mean, if you have a burning desire to go to Grand Portage, I don't know why. There's really nothing there. Maybe in the summer, you know, there's parks and beaches. There's supposed to be some waterfalls there. But other than that, I guess I wouldn't make it your end destination. Stay up where we were at, up in the Boundary Waters. There's plenty more beautiful things to see. So anyway, we heard from Samantha, and she got out. She met up with her friends. She is alive. She's excited that she got out, and we've stayed connected on Instagram. So hey, Samantha, hope you're doing well, and say hi to Leo for us.
Cheers.
Have a good day. We definitely recommend the Hungry Hippie for lunch or dinner if you're ever up in Grand Marais. After finishing our delicious food, we started the long trek home. Join us next time for more off-road adventures, and please like, share, and subscribe.